Well, here at Massie, we use the city's resources, the cultural resources, to interpret local history. We primarily do that for students, but occasionally we do it for the general public as well. So that's what we're doing on this tour. We're using 4 of Savannah's most charming squares, Calhoun, Lafayette, Madison, and Monterey, to teach people local history. So participants on these tours will learn about close to 2 centuries of history. All right, we'll start with the colonial Savannah. They'll also learn about revolutionary Savannah, Civil War Savannah, and one of the primary themes we touch on during these tours is Savannah's beautiful architecture. It's a fun way to learn about local history and also kind of soak in some of the holiday decorations as well. The thing that people find very interesting is the fact that all the squares and all the wards are identical. And we trace that all the way back to 1733, 1734, when Oglethorpe first started constructing the city and the wards, and his vision for the city was that he wanted to be set up that way. Well, it was such a perfect vision, such a good plan, that they continued that plan all the way from the Savannah River all the way to Forsyth Park as Savannah evolved and developed throughout the 18th and 19th centuries. People really find that fascinating. Also, Calhoun Ward, which we're standing in right here, is the only ward in downtown Savannah that has all of its original buildings. All of the buildings that you see here in Calhoun Square are all constructed out of Savannah gray brick. They're just covered up with plaster, which was very common architectural style back then. And they put these faux lines in them that give them this big, impressive appearance as if they're made out of really big blocks. People find that pretty interesting. Of course, the story about Hermitage's plantation too as well, because Savannah gray brick, when they stopped manufacturing it, over time, by the time of World War II, it was extremely valuable. So demolition companies were coming into downtown Savannah and tearing down historic treasures to build homes in the suburbs. And that's what started the historic preservation movement. People prefer to be outside as opposed to inside, where the likelihood of contracting something would be greater. Our partner site, Oatland Island, they're outdoors and they're doing pretty good business because people like being outdoors. So we sat down and started thinking, all right, what can we do to tap into that market, that feeling that a lot of people want to do things outside. So that's why we came up with the idea of doing our walking tours, because it's outside and a lot safer. And I do want to emphasize that we will enforce all COVID precautions and safety measures while we're conducting these tours. All participants must wear a mask, and we will do our best to enforce social distancing as well.